entertainment spread the Dad and Father Greg, the SmackDaddies. The revolutionary podcast of sports entertainment is spread the Dad and Father Greg, the SmackDaddies.
Hello, friends, and welcome to your SmackDown review for Huge Pop. You can also catch us on SmackDaddies.ca. I am Brad the Dad, and riding shotgun with me is my tag team partner, Greg Father Feltham.
Bless you, my son. Did you get new glasses this week?
No, same glasses.
Oh, they look different.
Maybe there's just the glare from the lights in front of me.
I don't know.
I am wearing my Bayley shirt. Maybe it's the fact that you basically woke me up, Greg. You were a little behind me because the Sportsnet app here in Canada sucks.
We are counting down the days till January 1st, and we can actually get to Netflix because I swear to God, the Sportsnet app screwed me over multiple times tonight. It screwed me over during the women's tag or the women's tornado tag match where I tried to it showed me that I was caught up to live and then got stuck in a loop. So I backed out of the app and went back in, and then it was in the middle of the main event. I'm like, crap. So I had to rewind all that.
Oh, it doesn't like rewinding.
And then in the main event, I watched the first segment and was trying to fast forward. So I went to commercial during the somersault off the top rope, and I fast forwarded. And when it came back, and that's fine and good. And I was watching and stuff. And I didn't realize that I had, it sounded familiar. It looked familiar, but I didn't realize that I had already watched this section till it got back to the damn somersault flip going back into commercial. And I was like, you son of a... So I had to restart the app again. And then that brought me into the middle of main event. So I had to rewind the main event taping that comes on Sportsnet at 11 p.m. Atlantic time. So I had to rewind again. I was like, sweet Lord, tonight. I just can't wait for Netflix when things will be easier.
Yeah, and it's really hard to harvest like fun clips for the socials. Sportsnet app blocks everything. They screen recording, all that stuff. So I have no use for them. I'm done with them. And yeah, and then they charge you out the nose for it.
Yeah.
And it is literally one of the worst players. Meanwhile, the best player is Netflix.
Just waiting for January, buddy.
We're a little grumpy because, it's in the middle. It's like 11:30. Again, literally, Greg. I finished the show. I was like 10 minutes behind because the Sportsnet app kicked me out twice. It crashed once, and I'm on like my Apple TV.
Yeah.
So it's not the Apple TV. It's the Sportsnet app. And then I was like, well, I'll switch over to my oh my gosh, I have the other one. I have the one that's put up by Amazon, a Fire Stick, and it crashed on that too. At that point, it's like my hands go up. I'm like, what is with this player?
Yeah. Yep. We hate Sportsnet app.
Yeah. It's behind too, dude. If you for some reason I was watching NXT this week and it was like really slow to load up the NXT to their on-demand service.
Yeah.
Again, we hate the Sportsnet app. This section of the show is not brought to you by Sportsnet because if it was, we would just lose our minds. Even worse than that, they're now the overlords of the biggest losers in the history of time. Because big news here in Canada, they bought the Toronto Maple Leafs. They bought the shares from Bell. Bell Media no longer owns any part of the Maple Leafs, and Rogers owns them all.
Honest to God, I didn't realize that Bell even had any stake in the Maple Laughs anymore anyway. So, that was like, oh, is that a story now? I thought Rogers has controlled them for years, so whatever.
And then they mentioned I heard another outlet talking about this, and they said, and some other minority group has 5% of it. Some other union. And I was like, that's the Teachers Union of Ontario.
Probably.
It's their pension plan. I'm not even kidding.
No.
So, Greg, we need to get to the end of a Sportsnet app era, but buddy, Sean Burkhead, shout out to Sean Burkhead. Berkey, we love you, but you've ruined our day.
So I don't know. Berkey, I have not seen. So what Brad is alluding to is the alleged notice that SmackDown is going to 3 hours in the Netflix USA era come January. I have not found a credible news source that actually has confirmed that. So I'm living in ignorant bliss until that's confirmed.
We're holding out hope is what we're doing. We are holding on to hope as long as we can.
Because if this is 3 hours, we got problems.
Well, the good news is we're starting late every time, and then we're watching it at 1.25, at least.
Yeah.
So, dude, this show had some really good stuff and some stuff that made you go, wait, what? Why is this on the show?
Sorry, before you do that, going back to that, the reason this 3 hour rumor is kind of been prevalent right now is that WrestleVotes Radio reported yesterday that SmackDown will move to 3 hours in USA starting Friday, January 3rd. Dave Meltzer followed up on that report in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, saying that those in WWE he've spoken to says they're open to discussions for runtime, both Raw and SmackDown, but nothing is final yet. WrestleVotes is usually very accurate with the news. I will give them that. However, they really they lost some credibility with me personally after the Performance Center is moving to Vegas story that was a miscommunication or misunderstanding. So yeah, until something's officially announced, who knows? But dear God, if you move us to 3 hours, SmackDown to 3 hours, Brad, we're going to have to figure some shit out because I am not doing 3 hours on a Friday night of wrestling.
No, dude, I have no idea what we're going to do, but let's just hope that it's like the Vegas rumor and it's debunked very quickly.
Do you know what? Like, we may very well be in the aftertime here. This may be the shortest return of a podcast in the aftertimes. Like,
we will be doing very short returns. It was not short.
This episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, they definitely milked every moment of this show. And I could hear you screaming from over there. Like, did you see the clip that went up on socials today for with you saying, "How did you drag me back in?" And you were complaining with the Bloodline.
No, I did not. I had a bit of a day, so I did not.
It's okay, Greg. It didn't come on until 9, and I entitled it, Would Greg actually watch SmackDown?
Yeah. Do you know what? I never thought I would say this, but I'm going to say this now. I missed the 10 o'clock news.
Yep. Oh, boy,
that 9:57 Eastern hard out. Oh man, I missed the 10 o'clock news.
Oh, yeah, it was one of those things. And then, of course, Greg, but the good news is that if you start the show a little bit late, if your player will allow you to fast forward,
like it's damn well supposed to,
you could then fast forward, especially things like as the Bloodline turns.
So I forgot that there was another time that the player screwed up because it wouldn't let me catch the first part of SmackDown. So I came in like the first couple of minutes of the LA Knight match. So I missed the Bloodline return crap recap. And the Bloodline enter the building with the security staff. Yeah, I missed all that.
You missed recap 1. Yeah, that was it. They beat up the security stuff. Greg, this is how you get through security, though, right? You refuse to get patted down and you beat the crap out of them. This is how you get through Atlanta airport. You go through security, you just wipe them out.
Yeah, that's exactly how you do
it. You were there, though, for the first match, which was LA Knight versus Andrade. Greg, I got to tell you, this match soured me a lot on not Andrade, but LA Knight. Greg,
welcome to the club.
There was he's just really basic and plodding in the ring.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, again, I think I've said this on this show. LA Knight, we're a year too late with this.
Yep. And probably about 10 years based on his wrestling, what's left in his body. I mean, there's some cool stuff. He almost gets a BFT before the commercial. And then we come back. Andrade's on offense. I like the part where he moves. We get the bouncing off the head, and then we get a crash where it looks like we're going to get LA Knight's going to pick Andrade up on his shoulders and drop him on, and then they push him into the ring post. So there's two commercial breaks though in this match, which this match did not need.
No, this match ran 17 minutes, 10 seconds.
And it was, I mean, there's a couple of cool double moonsaults, but basically Andrade misses one knees in the corner, but gets the other one. Another time he tries a drop kick, he misses, and BFT. There's some good spots in this match, but it felt like there was no flow. That's the only way to describe this match. Good spots, no flow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Recap number 2. We find out how we get the women's tag match stipulation, and it's Tiffy time. Tiffy and Nia are in the back. They're talking about the match. Tiffy says that she went to the nail salon, got her nails done, and told the girls she's going to whoop her. And Nia basically says, hey, Tiffy, if we don't win, you should probably go to Raw.
Yeah, you may have to get some new music for as the Tiffy time turns, because I mean, I think that's a crap ton more interesting than this Bloodline shit that we're seeing.
Oh, and then we see highlights, like this giant cinematic entrance for Roman and Cody, and this is God, Greg. The best part of tonight, though, may have been the Saturday night's main event theme song.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I loved every minute of the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns at Georgia Tech.
Oh, we're gonna agree to that, but I just put it here in the notes. Was the first time I saw the new Saturday night's main event theme, where they had the theme and they had the old images that kind of blend into the new.
Yeah.
Can we be on the Saturday night's main event watch party? Because they only do 4 episodes a year.
Do you know what? I think we may very well have to Smack Daddy Saturday night. Yeah, I think there's some
I think there
possibilities there.
There was a name about something about a main event at some point. So maybe we could
Smack Daddy Saturday night.
Or the Daddy Saturday night main event. Something.
We'll put that through the marketing
legal person.
Team.
Yeah. And
marketing team.
So we don't get sued.
So
if it's too close, we're gonna get sued.
But
going
back to this Roman Reigns Cody thing.
Oh no, we're not there yet. You're skipping over the most important part of tonight. Damn it!
What did I miss?
You missed the fact that Andrade and Melo ran into each other in the back. They got in a fight, and next week we're getting match number 6 in the series.
No,
best of 41, Greg.
No, see, I'm actually gonna be away next week. I haven't had a chance to tell you that yet, but I'm not gonna be here next Friday night. I found out probably around 9:30 or so tonight, my time.
Oh wow!
Right, like that. I'm not gonna be here. Like just when this kind of came on TV, something came up, and I'm not gonna be here next week. So.
Greg's protesting. He is on a non-Andrade versus Melo match protest.
Do you know what? I don't know what I'm hating more right now, Andrade and Melo or the god-awful Giovanni Vinci crap that we're seeing. So I don't know. We'll see. What does Greg hate more?
That could be a new piece on the social.
A new segment. What does Greg hate more?
I'll go back through the transcript of the podcast and see which one you said I hate this more or I hate that more. We'll count the hates.
You know what? Maybe this is a segment we've got to kind of go through and workshop. But like, you give me 2 things, and Greg gets to pick what he hates more.
Okay, you know what? I know you didn't hate because you tried to skip right to this. this Bloodline, like Cody and Roman at the football stadium face to face, this was gold.
Do you know what? If this was a half hour, I would have watched every damn minute of it.
The production was incredible.
And you know what? I will say it here because I've said it before and I will say it again. There is a time and place in wrestling for cinematic matches, cinematic things, when it's done right, when there's a need for it. I mean, Undertaker's last match with AJ Styles. Yeah, okay. I know that they had to film that, I think, over a couple of days with Taker and some limitations he had and stuff. But when you do the cinematic thing, there's so many cool things you can do with it that you just can't do live, right? And you could see it in this promo, like having the procession come up with Roman Reigns, the drone shots, the stuff above, being able to filter in, pictures of Roman Reigns playing on that field, Cody pulling up by himself in his car. Like there was just so much gold in this segment. Yeah. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Well, and Roman talking about him putting the blood on the field, and then Cody reminding him that this is our family. They would have had a few pictures of Dusty wrestling at the Omni. That would have made this totally perfect. It's like this is like A- paper that was like missing one picture from a perfect one.
I don't even know if it needed, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think I needed to see Dusty in this because I mean we didn't see Roman's we saw Roman as a student in this place, but I don't think
Cody referenced Dusty. That's the only reason I brought it up, Greg, was because Cody wrestled my family's blood in the Omni for generations.
Yeah. Nah, I didn't need it.
So Cody talks about this being his city, and Roman basically said he's a man with nothing to lose. He's lost everything, and he's going to get everything back. And Cody just wants Roman's word that he'll have his back. He gets the word, and then he said, but once we're done with this, I'm coming for my title. Cody steps in his way and then says the line, this isn't your title anymore. It's mine. And then Roman says, you're in my way. And then when Cody steps back, Roman takes a step forward. You're not in my way now. You're in my way in life. And he walks away. Like, I couldn't deliver that as well as they did. Go back and watch this segment. There's no chance this is being cut. We may cut everything else for this episode. If we had to, we would just say, watch this about 4 times.
No.
Report back.
No. Nope. There's other stuff we're keeping.
Oh, I know there's other stuff we're keeping, but because they cut away from this and Kevin Owens is sitting there, and this is great. Byron tries to get a comment, and Kevin just walks away.
Yep. Love it.
Back for commercial. They're trying to get a comment for Kevin Owens, but we're not going to. And then we have Apollo Crews in the ring. No Q-tip of doom. No entrance. And out comes Giovanni Vinci. And then we get recap 3. Hey, Greg, this is how Vinci got beat by Apollo.
So, honest to God, they said that was 2 weeks ago. I had to question it because I was like, wasn't that last week?
No, we didn't. They weren't on the show at all last week. And I think Vinci wishes he wasn't on the show this week.
Yeah.
So basically, Vinci beats Apollo up, throws him into the ropes so his legs are landing there. Look like he's attacking things. He looks like he's going to power bomb Apollo Crews into oblivion. Apollo Crews rolls him up for a crucifix pin.
Yep.
And he wins.
Minute 35.
And then Vinci beats him up after the match, which proves nothing.
Yep.
So is Baron Corbin going to come back and get revenge for Apollo Crews, or is Apollo Crews and Vinci on their way to a best of 11, and it's going to be 11-0 for Apollo Crews?
Honestly, I think I would take the Apollo Crews and Giovanni Vinci for 11 segment than I would to take Baron Corbin coming up and getting involved in this.
or anything that involve Mello and Andrade, because at least these matches are short. And you know what? There's been nothing between these two it's not bad. It's just weird booking for Vinci.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand this.
I don't mind it though, because at least it's only 2 minutes.
That at least is a thankful thing.
Hey, Kevin Owens gets talked to again by Byron Saxon, and he says, you know what? I'm going to talk about this in the ring. So that means Kevin Owens coming to the ring, which means he's not getting a promo out because he gets interrupted by the Bloodline with Tama Tonga's music.
Yeah, I don't know.
The tag team comes out with Jacob Fatu. Tonga cuts a promo. He talks about how they're going to get even with Cody and Roman. And then finally, Kevin Owens speaks for the people. And he says, nobody wants to hear what's coming out of your stupid face. Let's just get in the ring and fight. And they try and get him. He fights off the tag champs because the tag champs can't beat anybody.
Right.
And then Jacob Fatu comes in. They fight to a standstill. Out comes the tag champs, come back in. They beat him down. DIY comes up for the save. And Nick Aldis smartly says, I'm tired of you guys fighting without a match going on. So we're going to make this a 6-man later in the night. Perfect.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, there's a new package in Raw, and you can play as Nia Jax, Greg.
Sure. I mean, that would assume that I have the game.
Well, I can't get it. It's not on Switch. So UFC Fight Pass highlights. This is the first time I think I've seen Fight Pass highlights on a wrestling show.
I fast forward through this crap.
Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton versus Bayley and Naomi. It's Tiffy time, Greg.
It is. And I mean, this is, Brad, I'm almost shocked that you do not have tape ready to queue up here of me last week saying exactly what was going to happen in this match.
Dude, you called this right down the middle. I do have tape. I might put this in the highlight this week because you said this was going to be a double pin and we were going to try and we were going to get triple that. Where he almost got.
I was going to say it made sense for it to be a triple threat, and it might still be because I can see. So why don't you go through the match?
Yeah, quickly, but because there wasn't very much to this. It was the heels. The heels get taken advantage of. We have a double clothesline, and they both try and pin Nia, and this is going to be a problem. So then there's a crazy combo neck breaker where Tiffy jumps off the ropes and Samoan drop at the same time on Bayley. Commercial, back from commercial, we get a couple body drops. There's a looks like we're gonna get a Vader splash. There's a couple times where they're saving each other because this is a tornado tag.
Yeah.
But this eventually leads to a 1D that takes out Tiffy, and back in the ring. There's a weird, like a botched pin. There's no other way to describe it, where Naomi ends up on top, but Bayley's also crucifixing the arms, and Nia gets pinned by both of them at the same time.
And for the record, Naomi's feet are under the ropes, which means that should have stopped.
Right, and they rolled that's because they rolled way too far. This was a great idea that probably needed about 4 more practice in rehearsal before they actually tried it in the ring.
Yeah. No, it's great in theory, but in practice, maybe a little bit. 11:05 this match was. So this was a good match. Like there was nothing wrong with this match. It's just the botch to finish will leave a bad taste in your mouth, and it left us with who is the champ? Who's going to get the title match? Yeah, so let's go through the Chelsea segment and then we'll come back to this.
Oh, yes, that's right. So 39 TV sellouts this year, 58 sellouts overall. Michael Cole's promoting everybody should bring a sign, and we get a coal miner sign in the crowd.
Oh, yeah, fast forward through that. I knew I was that far behind. I'm like, I don't care about signs.
Chelsea Green's dressed up, and she is going through a dumpster, and she's throwing Meechin dummies into a dumpster. She may have been bit by a raccoon. This is setting up a dumpster match.
And again, this is a pre-tape cinematic type thing that was done brilliantly. And oh my God, like Chelsea Green. At first, I actually had to go back and rewind to make sure I caught every second of this because this was gold. This was so good.
Michael Cole explains what a dumpster match is, and he's so excited he's like jumping up and down.
Yeah, Michael Cole. I think he forgot his Valium tonight or something because he was over the top. Do you know what? It probably was that coal miner sign or something that
got him all hyped.
Like you would swear this was Pat McAfee there at the desk.
All right, Nick Aldis is in the back, and he's there. The ladies are arguing. Bayley and Naomi, who is the number one contender, and he says, "Well, you know how we're going to handle this. Number one contenders match next week."
Yeah. So, and the winner will take on Nia Jax. Here is where I think I still, I think you got to put an asterisk next to me for last week because I said it was going to be a double pin and I said it was going to be a triple threat. And here's what I think is going to happen next week on Raw. So here's your prediction. It's not a prediction; it's a spoiler.
We're on
but we
SmackDown.
have. I was good. Sorry, on SmackDown. Why? What did I say? On Raw?
I said next week on Raw. Next week on Raw, I don't care. It's 3 hours.
No, it's 2 hours now.
Not for a couple more weeks.
Oh, I thought it was already. Okay, so on SmackDown next week, and this isn't a prediction; it's a spoiler. You've got Bayley and you've got Naomi in a match against each other. Nia Jax is going to come out, take out both, and it's going to be a disqualification. Nick Aldis is then going to come and say, all right, then we're going to make this the triple threat match. I think in the end, we're still getting that triple threat match. Something is telling me that. I have no inside information, but this is how I see it's going to play out. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think you're going to have Nia Jax and or Tiffy Stratton next week interfere in that match, cause it to be thrown out, and you'll get your triple threat.
The only tweak I would make to your prediction is I think it will be not Nia Jax. It'll be Tiffy time who comes out, uses the briefcase, and that leads to a triple threat because then Nia can be mad at Tiffy.
Yep, that could work too. But I think at the end of the day, triple threat match for at Bad Blood.
And this was brilliant, Greg, because that's a perfectly good social for next week. And if you haven't seen our socials, we are the SmackDaddies on YouTube. You can check out our socials, and we have, those short reels that people like to do. All right, before we get started with the DIY Kevin Owens Bloodline 6-man tag, DIY needs to be made to look like complete losers, so they can get laid out in the back.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And instead, Kevin Owens tries to take out all the Bloodline again, and this time it's the Street Profits to come out and save him. So there's your match: Bloodline versus Kevin Owens and the Street Profits.
Yeah. Yep. And I wanted at this point, I seriously contemplated just telling you, you know what? Let's just record. At this point, I don't care about this. I don't want to see this.
Greg, the Bloodline is really trying your patience.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. And you know what? I like the match, but I hate the Bloodline shit in it.
Jacob Fatu is amazing.
100%. And I don't mind the Tama Tonga and the Tonga Loa, but I don't need this to be Bloodline versus. This could have easily just been, a 3-on-3 6-man tag match without this Bloodline. Even mentioning the word Bloodline would have been fine.
Street Profits are amazing. The Street Profits can do some amazing things in the ring. Ford, there's a couple of times Ford does. There's a particular kick that he does. Owens runs wild, but this all just leads to a stunner out of nowhere, and he wins. And then there's the beatdown at the end, which is just typical Bloodline. And of course, no idea where Solo Sikoa is tonight. I think he had a night off. No Roman, no Cody. So it kind of felt like the leftovers were here. They did their cinematic segment, and everybody else had a match.
And then adrenaline in your soul.
Yeah, Cody comes out for the save.
Yeah. And you know what? The best part of all this was the very end.
Well, okay. What? Go ahead, Greg.
the best part of this was Cody. Cody comes out for the save and uses the steel chair to knock out, a few of the Samoans, the various Samoans. In the ring, Cody Rhodes drops the chair. Kevin Owens picks it up, and Cody is on the ropes, facing back towards the entrance, with Kevin stood behind him. Kevin is teasing raising the chair little by little, and you think, okay, Kevin Owens is going to hit Cody with the chair, and it doesn't happen, but it's planting the seeds.
Yeah, because we were wondering how Kevin Owens was going to turn, and we thought the turn was going to happen at the title match, but now it looks like it's going to happen down the line, and it's justifiable. You're siding with Roman Reigns, the guy that screwed over Kevin Owens and you for years.
Yeah,
and you're just going to forgive that nonsense?
Yep.
Nah, man, nah. So this, which could lead to their title match at Survivor Series, because Cody's going to need to do something.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But I think it's just the Bloodline piece and, well, Mello. I mean, Mello and your number one draft pick, Greg. Number one draft pick.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we know we weren't long tonight, but let's take this sucker home.
This is your SmackDown synopsis.
All right, your SmackDown synopsis tonight is brought to you by Huge Pop. Huge Pop can be found on this very podcast stream, unless you're listening to the SmackDaddies one, in which case, check out Huge Pop Radio on all your social medias. That is Huge Pop. And Greg, this is the synopsis. The way it works for anyone who's new is you can either cut part of this, you can either keep the whole thing, or for you fan of the 80s and 90s wrestling, you can Superstar Special, and we'll see just a little bit of the match. And Greg will say, well, I'm only keeping this part because I'm done with the rest of this.
All right.
Bloodline enters the arena.
We're going to cut this.
You get your first match, LA Knight versus Andrade.
We're going to superstar this, Brad.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah. So the entrance and then the BFT at the end.
Yeah, that's about all you need to see here. It was a fine match. I mean, it was just there.
Yeah, I know the answer to this one. Or at least it should be the answer. We're keeping Tiffy time, right?
We always keep Tiffy time on the show.
That was just for Sean Burkhead because he's yelling "whoa" every time Tiffy comes on.
Fair.
Okay. What about the boy, Mello and the fight in the back with Mello and Andrade?
Break out the gong.
Okay, I do know what the answer to this one is too. The beautiful cinematic production between Cody and Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah.
Acknowledge me.
Had to acknowledge that. And a special shout out to everyone involved in that. Kevin Owens watching from the back.
I mean, it set things up for later, but yeah, it's.
I think it's.
I don't think they needed. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think they necessarily needed this one. I think they could have
one and not the other. They didn't need both.
Yeah, they didn't need. They didn't need Kevin Owens getting approached 3 times backstage, right? Like,
it's like that kid who writes the essay and then summarizes their point 4 times near the end. It's like, you get it. You're trying to make it to that 4th page. You're trying to get to the word count. Apollo Crews and Giovanni Vinci.
Do you know what? We're going to keep this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only because we really don't have a full match on here yet. So
Kevin Owens goes out and gets attacked by the Bloodline.
Nope, we can cut that.
This rebel heart.
Yeah, that's because we're also basically cutting the DIY because they're getting beat up in the back and we're not watching that.
Sorry.
Tiffy time, Bayley and Naomi in the women's tornado tag match.
Yeah, keeping this all of us.
Greg,
you're gonna have to get a custom sound effect for Tiffy.
It's Tiffy time. I'm gonna have to get a Tiffy time sound effect.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even have to ask you what the Cole and the crowds and stuff. That's all like. No.
I was gonna say you're also gonna need to get a custom sound effect as well for the next one.
Chelsea Green.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a Chelsea sound effect.
You need a Chelsea Green as Smith Irvin does.
It's Tiffy time, and then Chelsea Green with the big accent. Oh boy, Greg, that only leaves us with our main event.
Do you know what? I think I'm going to keep this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this. I mean, I thought about superstarring this, but I mean, I like watching Street Profits in some of the spots here. So, yeah, let's keep this.
Okay, so Greg, in a 2-hour episode of SmackDown, why don't you summarize for the folks? What did you keep?
So I kept a couple of matches. I mean, not that it was a heavy wrestling card, it was a 3-match card tonight, right? I mean,
4.
Do we really count that Apollo Crews match?
So you kept Giovanni Vinci.
I did. I mean, but is that really a match? It's a minute and a half, right?
And you kept both the 6-man tag and the women's tornado tag.
Correct.
But the thing that really made tonight for you was
100% has to be the cinematic Roman Cody.
Yeah, that's the highlight of this show. And go back if you didn't watch it. We're not doing
that. Was chef's kiss.
And Triple H, you kept us pretty much entertained. Like I would say that we kept about 75% of SmackDown tonight. Yeah.
The only problem. The major problem on this show is that you are threatening now next week with having to watch that god awful Andrade Carmelo Hayes crap again.
Oh, they're not threatening; they're promising.
Do you know what? I'm gonna hold out and hope that something happens that we're not gonna get that match. Like I miss the old days where they announce shit and then completely forget about it by the time the next episode comes on. That's what I'm holding out hope for.
Yeah, but that's because he who should be named will be not there, Greg. And if at some point we'll probably do a little mini review, and whether it's
I was going to ask you off air if we were going to watch He Shall Not Be Named,
the documentary.
Yes, I mean it's going to be on our favorite platform, Netflix, who really should sponsor this show because we are eagerly waiting till January
for our Netflix overlords to take over, and for us to say to not give Rogers money ever again.
Fair.
Well, Greg, that's it. So why don't you tell the people if they want to follow us, where can they find us?
You can find us on Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook. We're in the
Facebook
group.
Facebook. You can find us on YouTube as SmackDaddies.ca, on Twitter and Instagram, and on YouTube it's SmackDaddies. At Smack-Daddies, you can find our page and find all of our videos and shorts. But I think that's it, right?
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
And not next week, but for those of you new to the podcast,
because Greg's not going to be here next week.
The week after is going to be the shortest SmackDaddies of the new era, because it'll be the night before the PLE, the Bad Blood PLE. So we have a tradition here that we do the speed run on the night for the PLE. So we'll just basically give you the things. We're going to be like, yes, no, maybe so, for whether you should watch something, and then go through what we're looking forward to the next night at the PLE.
Yeah.
The most efficient episode of the SmackDaddies of all time.
That's the plan.
All right. He's Greg. I'm Brad. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for checking us out. And good night. See you next week.
The revolutionary podcast in sports entertainment. Greg and Brad. The dad bless you all, the lovely tales. But Friday night, SmackDown and beyond. Go to the outer limits of your mind with the SmackDaddies. Go to the outer limits of your mind with the SmackDaddies.